Hi there. I'm going to try and give a 15-minute presentation in 6 minutes, so I'll be quick. After a long and varied IT career, in about 2005, I was working with some law firms on realization and started thinking about write-offs. Most law firms run at about 70–84% realization. So a law firm turning over $10 million in fees is really a $13 million business, throwing away $3 million a year. There are many reasons for these write-offs, but poor fee estimates and/or not managing clients' expectations on fees is key. Any improvement in realization is a gold mine. It goes straight to the bottom line. There are also wonderful KM advantages to this whole concept as well, but the write-off argument is how to get your firm to agree to spend the money on any project like this. I spent some time researching why we are so bad at estimating project costs and timetables, which led me to the work of Kahneman and Tversky, two Israeli behavioral psychologists who identified the key conceptual biases that operate on this in the 1970s and 1980s. And here are those conceptual biases that make it so difficult to gauge the cost and length of projects. I won't go through them all. You will recognize them in yourselves and in others. They plague the simplest domestic bathroom modeling job, as well as the largest projects planned by the world's leading experts, such as the F-35 fighter program, the Channel Tunnel, the Sydney Harbour Opera House, and the infamous Boston Dig. After years of study, Kahneman and Tversky came up with the answer. It's called reference class forecasting. You simply analyze the behavior on previous similar projects, the reference class, work out just how shit you are at planning as a proportion of the whole, and then add that proportion onto any future forecasts. Sounds easy, and it got them a Nobel Prize in 2002. The problem is finding the reference class. Does that sound familiar? Sometime later, I defined a concept to identify similar matters based on a series of standard, generic, and work-type specific indicators and complexity factors. The idea was to find historic cases similar to any new one, and then agree the budget variable assumptions with the client, making them a co-conspirator in the fee estimate, so they can't complain when the fee changes when those variables prove to be fallacious. Write-offs should go down as a result, and profits should therefore go up. Sometime later, I managed to interest a law firm and an AI boutique to run a pilot in M&A. There were a range of issues. The data that we had promised was not there, and even if it was there, it was unhelpful or inaccurate. We needed considered historic matter estimates as our data. And this was a mandatory field, but the lawyers confessed they stick any random number in there just to get a matter incepted. Despite all this, the AI regression analysis showed promise. However, the data was simply not good enough. The AI company was acquired by owners with no interest in this idea, so it remained dormant. Until now. I should say in passing that PMS vendors and others have developed facilities to find previous similar matters for costing purposes, but they're all blunt instruments, not very accurate, and lawyers hate to use them. Recently, I took on a few new partners to refine this old concept for the new Gen AI world we live in. They were called Claude and ChatGPT, and this is what we came up with. It places no reliance on lawyer data input, no reliance on accurately determining the right complexity factors. It's based on an AI crawler engine that takes a preliminary view on the data it might need, and then it goes and gets it from reviewing a range of content from all your enterprise systems, including timelines, time narratives, client bills, matter emails, matter documents, vendor invoices, etc., etc. From this data, it identifies a matter fingerprint that can be used to compare different matters. It also continuously reviews its own process for further improvement. My new pals called this solution multi-factor analysis, and it breaks down into these 4 stages. First of all, it identifies basic starting assumptions in relating to the key comparators and the relative weighting between them. Here's a much more comprehensive list of those putative matter indicators broken down into more detail. I haven't got time to review them now, but if you can stop the slideshow, you can go through them and look at them, except for the ones behind my head, obviously. This, I am confidently assured by my new friends, is where the magic happens. These are the 4 techniques that Gen AI proposes to use to process a necessary regression analysis. I haven't got time to go through them, but you can look them up, and I suggest you do so. We know that AI can get things wrong and even hallucinate sometimes, so there is a human review process built in to ensure that some of the more soft issues are properly taken into account by experts, i.e. humans. Bearing in mind that one of the objectives of this project is matter fee forecasting, these elements in relation to cost breakdown generation are also built in. The key benefits of this process are we have data-driven decisions, consistent and more accurate pricing, hopefully radically improved realization throughout the firm, better client communication and satisfaction, risk management, better resource optimization, and what I call transformative KM. What do I mean by that? Well, hopefully, as part of this process, Gen AI will be able to identify what kind of matter is being worked on, at what stage of the process it's at, compare it with all other previous and current matters to find close matches, identify what materials those other matters both consumed and produced, and then proffer them, suitably tailored and quality assured, to lawyers without even being asked and at the right time. It should also be able to offer advice on current processes in the light of previous gotchas on other matters to improve client outcomes. Hopefully, the Microsoft Office paperclip concept might now become something more than just an annoying animation.